This thing is expecting me to talk. All right. I call to order this August 6th meeting of the North Allegheny School Board. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beginning with our calendar review. We had an executive session on July 24th to discuss a personnel matter. We had an executive session before this meeting to also discuss a personnel matter. This evening, we have a work session and a special voting meeting. And next week, on August 13th, we will have our regular voting meeting. And then in September 10th, we will have a work session and we will have an annual survey data report and a renovations update. Now we move on to speakers on voting items only. So these are we are starting our meeting with 8 voting items. We can take comments on any of those voting items. Anything on the work session agenda, we will take comments on those. You can comment on those after the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for up to 2 minutes on any of the voting items? Mr. Harrison.
Good evening, John Harrison, McCandless Township. Welcome back. Welcome to the 25-26 school year. Where did the time go? In looking at things you're going to vote on tonight, there's one section that we're paying for a student to do college curriculum at a, well, first off, there's the tuition per student. And looking at it in a question.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Harrison, this is for comments on the voting items only?
That's not a voting item because it's on the agenda.
Those are our work session
Okay,
items.
got it.
So you
All right,
can
let me go to the next one then. This is a voting item.
Section C is the only voting items this evening.
So you're not voting on any of this other stuff?
I'm guessing no. If it's not from Section C, it is not a voting item.
All right. Then you're lucky. You only get to hear me at the end of the night.
Okay.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
we'll call you back then. Okay. So we will start with our special voting items. Ms. Britton Dozier.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. This evening, we have 8 special voting items. 1, appointment of assistant principal at Franklin Elementary School. 2, appointment of coordinator of special education and gifted education. 3, resignations. 4, appointments. 5, supplemental contracts. 6, appointment of consultant. 7, settlement agreement. And 8, the NA Spring 2026 musical, Frozen, the Broadway musical. And I so move.
Would anyone?
Thank you.
Does anyone have any comments on these items?
No. You can do that, yeah.
On the agenda, we have 2 administrators that will be joining our team here at North Allegheny. One who could not be here tonight was Audra Meehan, who will be serving, hopefully in about 2 minutes, as the vice principal at Franklin Elementary. And then we also have Allison Frank, who is in the audience tonight, who will be serving as our coordinator of special education and gifted education. And she also will be coming from the Franklin Regional School District. So I had the opportunity to talk to their superintendent. Unfortunately, I had to tell them that we were going to take 2 of their people from their district to join us here at North Allegheny. And he indicated to me, boy, you are lucky. You have 2 rock stars. And the interview process made that abundantly clear. So after we vote, congratulations and welcome to our district.
Any other comments on these voting items? Seeing none, we're ready for the vote.
The vote is open. The vote has closed and all items pass unanimously.
Allison, congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Trusting in me and for giving me this opportunity. I grew up in a neighboring district, and so I grew up admiring and, just really in awe of North Allegheny. So to be a member of the team now and, all of the work that we have in store, it's just an absolute honor. So thank you. I'm so excited to get started and to get to know the students, the staff, the parents, and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to NA. Now we will move on to the work session portion of our agenda, starting with our curriculum report. Ms. Hardy.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. This month, there are 3 items for board action and 2 items for information only in the curriculum report. The items for board action include the disposal of unnecessary and unusable textbooks, and approval of a Title I non-public services addendum, and a third-party letter of agreement for non-public Title I services. The information-only items are on a foreign exchange student and the details on 2 university students requesting student teaching assignments for next school year. Thank you, Mrs. Warner.
Anyone have comments or questions on these items? Okay, then we will move on to the finance report. Mr. Weniger.
Thank you, Mrs. Warner. This month, there are 7 items for board consideration and 2 information-only items. The actionable items are the certification of unpaid 2024 taxes, which is just a step in the process to ultimately collecting those unpaid taxes. Tuition rate of 2025-26, the collateral securities report, student expenditures for May 2025, June 2025, and then the accounts payable list for June 2025, and the accounts payable list for July 2025. And then the information-only items are the ending cash balances for June and July. I'm sorry, there was a third one as well. And then there's the 2025-26 July forecast.
Thank you, Mr. Weniger. Any comments on these items? Or questions from anyone? Okay. Then we can move on to the Human Resources Report. Ms. Britton Dozier.
This month, we have at least 4 items for consideration. 1, recognition for additional education. 2, wage status changes. 3, leaves of absence. And 4, professional contracts.
Any questions or comments on these items?
Not at this point.
Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to the student services. Oh, my apologies. Next is the property and supplies report. Mr. McClure was unable to join us this evening. Mr. Weniger, could you handle this report, please?
Sure. So I did speak with Mr. McClure earlier and got a little background on the items, but there are 4 items in this month's property and supplies report. The first one is a small change order at Peoples Elementary School regarding some rerouting of condensate drain lines for some unit events. It's a $7,000 change order on a $500,000 contract, so it's a pretty minor item in the grand scheme of things. There is some new AC equipment for the central administration server room. This equipment was damaged back in one of the strong storms we had in the spring. Ultimately, we're hoping and believing this will be covered through insurance, but this item, we need to get this fixed in the meantime. And the total cost of that is about $46,000. And I know there's been a little bit of conversation or back and forth. And Mr. Chabola, I don't know if you have any background on that. And I know you're doing some research with Mr. McClure on this.
Yes, the current total cost is at that $46,000. We're working on getting some additional quotes, hoping to bring that cost down a little bit. And if we can get a lower cost, then we'll update this prior to the voting meeting next week.
Thank you. Item 3 is just an agreement for the shuttle service for McKean's Community Days. And the last is the authorization of the bus stops for the 25-26 school year.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on these items? Mrs. Blackburn.
I'll just make one quick comment. As far as transportation, I think, speaking on behalf of the board, we've been very excited that transportation has done such a great job in the past year in cutting down the amount of time that students are on the bus. So we're looking forward to another great year. And if parents can, please give us, 2 weeks to get through things with transportation, because the initial 2 weeks can be tough on the bus drivers and so forth, but we will iron everything out if there is any problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackburn. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on to the Student Services Report. Dr. Gibbs.
There we go. Okay, so there are 15 items for board action next week, as well as 2 information-only items. So the items for board action include a renewal letter of agreement with the Pittsburgh Maximizing All Potential Program, or MAPS, for the 25-26 school year. A letter of agreement with UPMC Western Psych Hospital, where Western Psych will provide a student assistance program to support the district. An early admission 25-26 school year approval, the BAYADA home health care contract, university school college preparatory enrollment contract, a music therapy support services agreement with Creative Therapies Enterprises, a transition services agreement with Employment Options Center at McGuire Memorial, a memorandum of understanding with the PA Connecting Communities for Transition Services, an agreement between the district and Wesley Family Services, an agreement with Eva Carlston Academy for Educational Services, an agreement with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit for 504 Services, an agreement with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, an agreement with Allegheny Intermediate Unit for Vision Services, an agreement with Goodwill of Southwestern PA for Transition Services, and an independent educational evaluation agreement. The information-only items include a student teaching request from a student at Slippery Rock University for special education, and a request from a student at University of Pittsburgh for a school work practicum experience.
Thank you, Dr. Gibbs. Any questions or comments on these items? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Hyland.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Warner. We have 2 items for board consideration this next week, the professional seminars report and a Chatham University affiliation agreement. We also have several information-only first read policies to be considered. As you well know, last year we tried to get 5 or 6 policies per month. We're trying to up our game a little bit and go a little bit faster. So I thank the board for all the feedback they've given us on the policies. But for information only and first read, we will be doing policy 105.1, review of instructional materials by parents, guardians, and students. Policy 106, guidelines for planned instruction. Policy 109, resource materials. Policy 112, school counseling. Policy 113, special education. Policy 113.3, screening and evaluation for students with disabilities. Policy 114, gifted education. Policy 118, independent study. Policy 130, homework. And Policy 137, home education.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on the superintendent's report? Okay. Seeing none, that includes our voting items for next week. Do we have any speakers on non-voting items? Mr. Harrison?
It's actually good because I got to do a little bit more research while I was waiting. The one policy, or the one thing you're going to be voting on next week is for the university schools, college preparatory enrollment contract. Per their website, it costs $22,775 per year. Per what we have on what it's going to cost us taxpayers, it's $13,500, which is an offset of about $5,000. So if someone can explain why there's an offset is the first part. Second part is, how does one student qualify to do this? I think any student in NA would love to go to a 4-to-1 ratio with teacher to student ratio. And is this only a senior year class, or is this something that goes 9, 10, 11, and 12? If it goes 9, 10, 11, and 12, we're looking at spending just shy of $90,000 for a student to go there, when all of our students are going to school here at a much higher number of ratio to teachers, and also a much different as far as what we're saying per the agenda for tonight, that it says that a student in high school should be approximately $15,840 per student per year. So do we have to pay that fee above and beyond that new fee for this other school, or does that fee go away? And what is this is the first I've seen this as something coming up on the agenda. And so if somebody could explain that, I will be asking about it at the next meeting also. And then the last thing is Dr. Highland has got a conference in California for Apple. What are we getting as taxpayers for that, for you going to that conference and spending $3,000 for that conference? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Are there any other speakers on any topic who would like to address the board for up to 2 minutes? Okay. Seeing none, does anyone on the board have any announcements or reminders for us this evening? Okay. Then we are adjourned.